All right, as everybody is, I know participants are still onboarding, but I'm gonna go ahead and start with the introduction. So welcome everybody to our mental health and behavioral health webinar session on building community partnerships. So on behalf of the agency, we're so glad that you took the time out of your day to join us. So today's session is going to include 3 presentations from community partners and school leaders from across Texas who have combined resources to ensure that they support the positive development and mental health of their students. So as a reminder, this session is being recorded, and the recording and the supporting resources for the webinar will be posted at our website, theschoolmentalhealthtx.org/webinars following today's session. So feel free to check those out at a later date. All right, so we're going to ask you to take a few minutes to complete this brief pre-survey. So part of our mental health work here at TEA is funded by Project Aware Texas through the Federal Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, or SAMHSA for short. Our grant requires a brief pre and post surveys for our awareness sessions with our stakeholders. So we really appreciate your support with this requirement. You're going to see in the chat box, you'll see the survey link posted there, but also too, you'll see the QR code on the screen here. Feel free to use your smartphone, iPad, whatever device you may have to access that QR code for the information. Okay, so one really important thing is that once you access that survey, when it asks you, please enter community partnerships in the box that asks for the name of the training. This will be continually put in the chat box. All right, one other housekeeping note is that we are hosting in a Zoom webinar format. So that means that you as participants can't show your video or you can't share your audio. But we really, really want to know your questions, and we encourage you to ask them. So to handle the questions part, please use the Q&A function there on your Zoom options, and we're going to do our best to get them answered. Some will just be answered through the Q&A, some may be answered live. Also become familiar with your chat function. So we're going to be dropping in some resource links in the chat for you to get started whenever we get started, and more throughout the webinar. So feel free to utilize that chat function. We will be providing 1.5 CPE credits for educators for today's webinar for those who attend the whole session. So a CPE certificate will be sent by the end of the week to the email address that you registered with. So this is the only way that you can get your certificate. We will not provide a CPE from the recordings. Okay, so in order to get a CPE certificate, you have to be in attendance for the whole webinar today. All right. All right. That should be all the housekeeping. Let's jump in to our presentation. All right. So I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Natalie Feacock, who is with our partner from the Southwest Mental Health Technology Transfer Center. So she's going to kick us off by framing how our topic today kind of intersects with our Texas School Mental Health Framework. Dr. Feacock.
Thanks, Tammy. Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Natalie Feacock, and I serve as one of the school mental health leads at the Southwest MHTTC. To give you just a quick overview of who we are housed at the University of Texas at Austin, at the Texas Institute for Excellence in Mental Health. And as you can see from this map, we're down in the purple area. We support Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and New Mexico by providing technical assistance, training, developing resources, whatever the need may be. We meet regularly with the Texas Education Agency, and part of what we're going to do today, or part of my role, is to get us started and frame the work that we're going to talk about today. So again, this is as a larger area of a larger image of the area that we serve. So quickly, let's talk for just a moment about what a comprehensive school mental health system is. TEA is hosting monthly webinars to talk about different components of building a comprehensive school mental health system. Today, in particular, we're going to be talking about community partnerships. As a whole, a comprehensive school mental health system provides that continuum of services and supports that helps to promote a positive school climate, teach social, emotional, and behavioral health skills, prevent mental health and substance use problems, intervene early to reduce the severity of mental health concerns, and provide access to school-based and community-based interventions and supports to students and families, which is really what the topic of today is. Just to give you a quick framing, we all hope that you've seen this graphic available online. I'm sure that the link will be put in the chat box. But there are three parts to this image, one being the schoolhouse, which is just a representation of a multi-tiered system of support. And you can see that there are universal, targeted, and intensive supports. And the MTSS is strengthened by the factors represented on the steps of the school. So when we have policies, procedures, and practices in place, as well as evidence-based PD and training, as long as we're addressing staff wellness and mental health literacy and the leadership, family, and community engagement pieces, then that helps us build a strong MTSS. The pathway of this graphic, we call that the STONE pathway. These are the different domains of quality for our school mental health system. Within each of these domains, districts and schools can explore best practices for effective school mental health systems. They can benchmark their local practices to national quality standards and plan for and prioritize improvements. The clouds within this graphic are the components of a comprehensive school mental health system. And these components are actually part of education code. And these are areas where the LEA or school district must develop practices, procedures, and/or professional development opportunities. The Texas Education Agency has a robust school mental health toolkit available, as well as best practices for each of those areas within the clouds. So let's talk for just a moment about how community partnerships fit into the school mental health framework. As you can see from this slide, I have put a blue circle around or an oval, around all the areas that community partnerships would fit in a Texas school mental health framework. The path to quality school mental health systems, teaming and planning can be done with the support of community partnerships, early identification and screening, mental health promotion and prevention, early intervention and access to specialized services, and even monitoring progress and measuring support. I'm sure we'll hear from our panelists today about the way that they are addressing and the way that community partnerships are working with schools and campuses and districts to really build that path to a quality school mental health system. As you can see from the components and the clouds on this graphic, each of those 8 required areas can be addressed and or supported by those community partnerships. So with community partnerships, with intentionality, we can create positive, safe, and supportive school climate. We can promote early mental health prevention and intervention, suicide prevention, intervention, and postvention, building relationships, managing emotions and decision-making, positive youth development, positive behavior intervention and support. We can address substance use prevention and intervention, and even grief-informed and trauma-informed practices. So as you can see from this graphic, it is really, really essential and important that we are intentional in our school districts to develop community partnerships to help build out a safe and supportive school. So with that, I'm actually going to stop sharing and pass it over to Ashton.
Hey, thank you, Dr. Natalie. I appreciate that for the frame and helping us out with that. So now I am actually going to pass it over to some of our colleagues in the El Paso area to showcase how staff from their local mental health authority has partnered with local school leaders to actually scale their ability to provide youth mental health first aid training to district staff. So now I will hand it over to Yvonne and team to go ahead and present for us. And I'll make sure I spotlight you all as well.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Yvonne Rivas. I work with Health and Human Services Commission, and I oversee a program that we have, which is called the Behavioral Health Partnership Program. That program provides things like mental health first aid to adults, youth, and teens, substance use programs, and trauma and grief training, and trauma and grief with IDD. And so this morning I have Rocio Bacay and Bianca here to discuss what they do and how they work with the educational service centers, the LMHAs, and how that collaboration works to impact the school districts. So I will let them take it from here.
Good morning, everybody. Let me share my screen here. Okay. So yes, good morning. Bianca Salcedo and I are, we work with Emergence Health Network. We're here to talk to you about some of the trainings that we were able to conduct last year. So first of all, I would like to introduce our I'm so sorry, this isn't working. Okay, so I'd like to introduce our team at Emergence. We are part of the community education training team. And of course, myself, I'm part of that. I'm the Behavioral Health Partnership Program Liaison. Bianca Salcedo, who's here with me this morning, she's our Mental Health First Aid Outreach Coordinator. And then the rest of our team who's not able to be here today, we have Ricardo Gándara, he's our community educator, Ariel Mess, she's our CARA project coordinator, and then our director is Luis Chavarria. You're going to see them in action when we share some of the pictures that we have here for you. So our purpose as the community education team is to bring those mental health topics to our community, which really falls into my role as the Behavioral Health Partnership Program Liaison. So we do outreach throughout the community, including schools, including other nonprofits. And one of the things that we work on that we really like to go out there and share is the Mental Health First Aid Program. So for this purpose, what we did is we developed the Mental Health Learning Library. And the Mental Health Learning Library the concept is kind of like a library, right? You go in and check out a book. So we have mental health topics that are available for the community that are ready to go. Including things like a mental health overview, like Mental Health 101, substance use prevention, suicide prevention, different things that we do for the schools, for parents, for students, for teachers, but also for the rest of the community. We also we're out there. You give us a call and we'll come out there. We'll bring out some of the resources that are available, including the services that the local mental health authority offers, as well as other kinds of resources when it comes to mental health and substance use prevention and IDD services. And the reason we're here, right, is building those relationships that we're gonna be talking about. So one of the things that we did is we really took the trauma-informed approach into consideration. So some of the feedback that I got when I first started going out to schools and kind of continuing those relationships was the feedback that they were very worried about bringing in presenters because they weren't really sure what they were going to end up talking about. And so we always want to make sure that our presentations are trauma informed and that they're evidence informed. And there's this transparency where I always offer up the information that we're going to be presenting, so that they know exactly what it is that we're bringing to the table. We always want to make sure that we're prepared, right? That we're prepared to deliver, so we have good quality presentations and sessions available. we're able to customize those sessions in order to fit the needs of the people that are requesting these presentations. And then because of the nature of what we do, none of us provide direct care services. So our job is 100% focused on being prepared and having that experience with presenting, with keeping our audiences engaged, and having activities that go along with our presentations, that there's a message behind those activities, again, just to keep things engaging and interesting, and hopefully people walk out of those sessions with remembering a good portion of what we're doing. And so the last thing that I'm going to mention is, of course, as a local mental health authority, we do want to be that resource for the community when that appropriate professional help is needed. We have also been able to, the LMHA has been able to develop formal relationships with some of the school districts. We have school-based mental health services. We have a school-based CIT, and of course the behavioral health partnership liaison, which is me. So with this, I'm going to pass it over to Bianca so that she can talk to us about some of those activities that we were able to do last year.
Thank you, Rocio. Good morning, everyone. As Rocio mentioned, my name is Bianca Saucedo, and I am the Mental Health First Aid Coordinator in El Paso. And so what I'm going to be talking about is the districts that we were able to provide mental health first aid to in the year of 2023. Kind of piggybacking off of what Rocio mentioned with being able to build those partnerships and those relationships is going to lead me to one of the first things I want to talk about, which is providing those mental health first aid classes throughout the year, right? And even before we do these larger classes. So again, building that relationship and being able to have multiple classes throughout, so that we can then provide these larger classes where we can get more people trained. And so here, as you can see, there's a few pictures of the Isleta Independent School District that we worked with last year and for a few years prior to that as well, where we were able to train some of their teachers and some of their school counselors as well. And then in 2023, in late July, we did 2 classes of nurses. So we had all of their nurses trained in youth mental health first aid. I'm going to transfer over now to our San Elizario School District. And before I talk about them, we'd like to show this short clip that we have from one of our local news stations that covered our mental health first aid training for them.
Mental health is often thought of, and mental health issues are often thought of as an adult problem, but children can experience it as well. One local school district is taking steps to make sure everyone on campus is ready to help students in need. Our mental health correspondent, Avery Martinez, files this report.
Well, I'm here at San Elizario with my very good friend here. This is Algie, the unofficial mascot for the mental health first aid trainings that are going on here today. And the reason why he's a koala is because this training actually started in Australia. And here today, a bunch of teachers are being taught how to provide mental health first aid to students. But it's not just the teachers that are being trained. The district is actually teaching all of their staff, offering classes in English and Spanish. These trainings are designed to give staff the tools they need to identify mental health struggles in students of every age and how to communicate with them effectively. The superintendent, Jeannie Meza Chavez, tells me that providing this training is key for getting students all the support they need.
We are in this together. That is our intent, to make sure that we are equipped for things that are changing. You know, our students are coming in with different needs, and one of them is being the mental health support, to be able to spot, you know, when students need that assistance. Coming up at 6, we'll talk to a mental health first aid instructor and a teacher and learn what they have to say is so useful in the training.
For ABC 7, I'm Avery Martinez.
Mental health.
All right, so San Elizario was another one of the school districts that we were able to train in the year 2023. Very similar to the Isleta Independent School District, we were providing mental health first aid trainings throughout the school year before having this very large mental health first aid day, I would say, because we had multiple trainings happening at the same time. The way it worked with San Elizario Independent School District is that a mental health first aid instructor in El Paso is a school counselor there at that district. And he had been providing mental health first aid trainings alongside us throughout the previous years. And this past school year, he said, I want to do a little bit more. And the district also wanted to do more. So we started providing classes, I would say at least 4 a month at the very least, in both English and in Spanish. So we started off by training all of their support staff or the staff members that are a little bit easier to be pulled out of their position for a full day's training. So aides, counselors, security guards, nurses, admin, cafeteria staff, bus drivers, etc. And we did those throughout the year. And then on July 19th, we had this very large training day where we taught 10 classes simultaneously at one of our event center from Region 19, the multi-purpose center building, which is able to house as many people as we did, which was 260, I want to believe, or maybe a little bit more than that, in that range. And during that training, it was very important to us that we provide this experience for the teachers who were going through that training, just as the other staff members received during the school year. And so during this training, as Rocio mentioned, preparedness is a big part of the quality of work that we provide. And so with this training and the other trainings, we provided everything from the location to the materials that all of the classes were going to need, to 2 instructors per class to be able to provide these trainings so that there are enough instructors to kind of bounce back ideas from one another. And with mental health first aid, if there were ever a situation, of course, we need to have our second instructor to help de-escalate. So we always made sure that we provided that, as well as even banners, welcoming banners to welcome the staff. We had our mascot there also, and many different things just to make the event enjoyable for the teachers of San Elizario. And so, as I mentioned, we had 10 classes happening simultaneous, and we had 2 media coverages from 2 local networks. And you all saw a clip for that just a little bit ago. It was a very successful event. We had a really great time, and we were able to train almost the entire school district just that one day, but of course, with the help of the other trainings that we had throughout the school year. I'm going to go ahead and move on to Tornillo Independent School District. This is a school district that we also trained in 2023, and also very similar to the other trainings is we were able to provide mental health first aid prior to a larger event, Mental Health First Aid Day again. And so we provided mental health first aid to school counselors ahead of time or before the large class that we had in January 6th. So I have here with us Ms. Angie Morales, who was the point of contact that we had during the mental health first aid trainings, and she's also the school counselor at Tornillo. She helped with organizing this training. She reached out and she has been absolutely amazing, from getting all the names of the individuals who were going to be there, providing the location, breaking down the classes, where each individual was going to be during the day of the training. And just like San Elizario, we had many classes in one day. With Tornillo, we had 6 classes happening at once. I think it was about 2 classes in each of their schools. So we had a high school, a middle school, and an elementary school, where we had 2 classes happening, 5 classes in English and 1 class in Spanish, and we were able to cover all of the district. I'm going to hand it over to Miss Angie so that she can tell us a little bit about her experience as well.
Hi, my name is Angie Morales, and like you said, Tornillo Independent School District it's part east of Paso, and it's a small community that sometimes it's hard even for parents and students to reach out to go to El Paso. It is a rural community for those of you that do not know Tornillo. I am now I'm the assistant principal pre-K-8, also overseeing the social and emotional learning coordinator for the district and also the counselors coordinator for the district. This training that Ms. Bianca was able to provide along with Ms. Rocio, it was a big impact in our community from custodians taking it in Spanish, which is a big community speaking language here in Tornillo. They love it. The first aid training that we had, it's recognizing the symptoms of mental health and the signs. They were very happy. And as a matter of fact, we had a crisis lately in our community, which the teachers were prepared. With this training, they were able to, what steps to take, what signs to see, and it was a very enjoyable training because the questions that they asked, there were answers to those questions. I want to just say that Emerge Head Network has been working with Tornillo. We also we're part of that SIT. Whenever we need a crisis intervention team, they're the first one to reach out to Tornillo. We have an SRO in our campus for the whole district, and he's the one that provides that mental health service right away when we have an outcry. I don't know if you have any questions. This training was I know it was a lot of work between Bianca and us back and forth, but just seeing the need that every school district needs, from starting from our custodian staff all the way to teachers, central office, everybody was here. We were all here, and it was a good outcome with everything that they learned.
Thank you, Miss Angie. Thank you for sharing that. That was a really successful event as well that we had with Mental Health First Aid, that we were able to train all of the district as well, which is very important, especially after hearing the story that Miss Angie told us. Thank you for sharing that, Miss Angie. All right, so I want to kind of wrap up here by talking about the main takeaways that we have learned really throughout providing mental health first aid. One of the top ones here is humility. As the local mental health authority, we do value being humble with these trainings, being that whatever the school district needs, we want to be able to provide that. So as Rocio mentioned, we have the Mental Health Learning Library, which has a menu on all the different types of trainings that we can provide. Some that can be tailored to specific timeframes, maybe like an hour or a little bit longer. So whatever it is that the district is looking for and needs, we really do try to accommodate that to provide those trainings, those presentations, those services to the district, as well as availability and flexibility. I think these all three overlap just a little bit because we know that availability with school districts can be tricky because we are it is a school year after all. And so we can't just go in and any day that we want to be able to provide a training, especially something like mental health first aid that can take a full day's work. And so there might be a time where a school district says we can't this day or we can this day because we have the teachers and the staff for a full day, and we will make sure that we'll be there. Again, it's all a part of providing this very important training and these important presentations to our community. Listening and learning, of course, we want to listen to see what are the needs that our districts in the El Paso area need. If that may be a language challenge, we have Spanish speaking instructors who can provide those trainings in Spanish. Whatever it may be, we want to make sure that we learn from our experiences and then we're able to deliver. And that brings me to that last point here, which is delivering. As Rocio mentioned, we try to deliver high quality trainings and high quality presentations. And that is going to involve all of these things and everything else that Rocio has also mentioned prior to this.
Awesome.
So here we have a few of the resources that we have in El Paso. Of course, in case of an emergency, dialing 911. In case of a mental health crisis emergency, we always provide the number 988. And then in El Paso, we have this number that is a direct line to our crisis line at Emergence Health Network, which is that 779-1800. So thank you all very much. We appreciate being here. And if there are any questions, we'd like to hear that and answer it as best as we can.
Awesome. Thank y'all so much for taking the time out for us. And our audience can use the Q&A to ask questions, and we'll make sure we hold on to those for our panel discussion after we wrap up our presentations. But you all show a really great example of what it means to pull together resources, right, to meet the needs of school districts. So the school district had people that need to be trained in youth mental health first aid for all of the reasons that were already mentioned. And of course, between the Emergence Health Network at the LMHA there and the ESC, right? Y'all had the people and the expertise to provide that training. And then the ESC actually had the space for that training to happen, right? So a great example of pooling resources, using a partnership to actually meet the needs of a school district. So again, I appreciate you all for sharing that. So now I am going to introduce our next presenters. I'm super excited for this. So we're actually going to highlight the Miles Ahead Scholars Program, which is an innovative program utilizing community partners to ensure that students are receiving that positive youth development geared towards maximizing their potential to excel in the post-secondary education opportunities that are coming for them. So I also want to shout out our colleague in the agency, Carol Sadler, who manages our community partnerships grant, which helps to make the Miles Ahead Scholars Program happen. So without further ado, I will pass it over to the Miles Ahead Scholars team to share a little bit more about your program and how community partners are utilized.
Awesome, Mr. Miller. Thank you so much for the kind introduction. Ms. Sadler, thank you again, and the TEA for the opportunity. I'm gonna share my screen here. Awesome. So my name is Dr. Exley Warren, Senior Manager of the Miles Ahead Program, and it's truly an honor to lead this program. And I want to give a special shout out to the colleagues, the panels, members here today, and incredible work that you're doing across the state of Texas to make a difference and impact on our young people. So let's continue to do the work together and continue to make an impact. Mr. Douglas, the great orator and abolitionist, once said that it's easier to build stronger children than it is to repair a broken man. This quote embodies the spirit of the MOS program as we strive to build stronger children who will go on to attend four-year universities and graduate with honors, but more importantly, will become leaders and change agents in their community. I want to say thank you to Senator Miles for his vision and his tenacity in securing a $22 million grant back in 2019 so that we could create this Miles Ahead program, so that our young men grades 9 through 12 that are Black and brown can have access to college access pathways. The MOS program would not be here today if it was not for this opportunity, this grant, to transform the lives of these young men. The objective of the Miles Ahead program is to increase the academic performance in 3 of our underserved high schools here in Houston ISD to help them achieve an A rating on the TEA school report. Founded in 2019 with 85 scholars, we are located at Cashmere, Wheatley, and Worthing High School. Now, I want to give you a slight glimpse into the world of MOS.
Oh no, we can't hear the sound. I think you might have to unshare and then click the little button that allows the sound to play. You might have to unshare your screen and then before you reshare, click that little button.
You know what he's saying, Chef?
There's a little button that says share sound, should be like to the right when you press share screen. Like a little box you can click that says share sound. And then optimize for video clip.
One more time, Ashton, what button next to the share screen?
Yes, sir. So when you press share screen, there should be like a little box that you can click. It'll either be to the right in that same window, or it'll be at the bottom. And it'll be like a little button that says share sound, or a little box that says share sound, and another one that says optimize for video clip.
We see it.
Okay, awesome.
Making sure that you guys leave better this week than when you entered today. This is an opportunity to step into greatness. What we're asking you this week is to be engaged.
All right, I want everybody to be engaged. I am engaged. Oh, you're not ready today. Be respectful. I am respectful. Be open-minded. I am open-minded. And most importantly, be MOS. I am a MOS scholar. Are we ready to learn today?
We have so many talented people that are going to be working with you guys this week because they believe in you. They believe in the mission of MOS, which is making sure that Black and brown children have access to rigorous instruction, access to four-year universities, because that's ultimately why you're here. Everybody hear that, Ashton? Sorry about that.
Yes, sir. That was awesome. I'm not gonna lie to you. Can't wait to watch it again.
Okay, thank you. Technology making me great today. So the overall mission of Miles Ahead is to make sure that our Black and Latino young men are leaders in their lives, schools, and communities by preparing them to attend and graduate from the most selective universities in the United States. The components of MOS, this is what makes MOS unique, is our specialized honors program that focuses on three aspects of student development. We focus on the student's academic achievement by providing master teachers in reading and math for our scholars, college and academic advising, which to me is the bread and butter of our program, ensuring that our students have courses like AVID to prepare them for academic preparedness and provide them an actual college counselor who follows them 9th through 12th grade in the cohort of brothers, and then exposure and service opportunities where our scholars get the chance to travel the world and also get mentorships from organizations like the 100 Black Men. And overall, our goal is to make sure that to support our high schools in achieving the CCMR metrics so that they are A-rated schools. So someone's probably asking on this Zoom call, what is MOS? I really don't understand the concept. Well, I'm so glad you asked. Let's go deeper. Miles Ahead, this is what we call the MOS concept. What can we be the best in the district or the state at? We believe building relationship is our strength. It's our superpower because we meet our scholars in 8th grade as we recruit in the middle schools, and we follow them from 8th grade to our group of seniors, our group of sophomores who are in college now. Teaching and learning is happening here at Wheatley High School, so I apologize about that. And our academic advising, where our counselors provide grade checks and prepare us, our 11th graders and 12th graders for the SAT through the Prince Review training. What are we deeply passionate about? Admittance into selective universities. We're deeply passionate about preparing our scholars to have access to these 4-year selective universities. And that work does not start in 12th grade. That work starts as early as middle school, preparing them for the rigors of college admittance, removing structural and inequities to rigorous courses, making sure our students take AP courses, right? Making sure that they have the right courses to get them to these selective universities, right? And making sure that they have the scaffolds behind them, supports to help them both mentally and physically so they can accomplish these goals. Stakeholder partnerships. Shout out to the TEA for believing in us, supporting our work. Ms. Sadler has been an ultimate supporter of our program, Senator Miles for his vision, his tenacity, and many others organizations that partner with us who believe in the mission of what we're doing for our scholars. What drives our program success? Student engagement. We have lunch and learns where we build community across our campuses. SAT scores, making sure our scholars are college ready so that their test scores aren't a barrier to them getting to these 4-year universities. In our exposure opportunities, our students go to Rice. We have partnership with Rice University, Temple University. Vital Oil and Gas is a huge sponsor of our program. 100 Black Men is one of our mentoring programs to provide mentorships and also help us with our college tours. We have college tours in state and also out of state. So that in essence is what makes up the MOS concept and what we are about at Miles Ahead. So now I want to give you a clearer picture of what a MOS scholar looks like in their belief, in their self-efficacy, as they travel through the hallways and they walk through the schools that they travel in at Wheatley, Kashmere, and Worthing High School.
I'm a Miles Ahead scholar. Of course I got a 1330 in my SAT.
I'm a MOS scholar. Of course a C is unacceptable.
I'm a Miles Ahead scholar. Of course I'm rating my 5 in my class.
I'm a Miles Ahead scholar. Of course I got accepted to all the colleges I applied to.
I'm a Miles Ahead scholar. Of course I'm going to be involved in everything. I'm involved in ROTC, Miles Ahead, choir, and band. Just to name a few.
I'm a Miles Ahead scholar. Of course I'm top 10% of my class.
I'm a MOS scholar. Of course I've been accepted into 6 universities.
So if you don't believe me, I brought a true MOS champion here who's going to speak to you guys for a few minutes and talk about his journey for Miles Ahead, who's been in our program for 4 years, who started out at Wheatley, is going to take his next stop. It's going to be University of Texas, Austin. This young man is 3.96 GPA, ranked number 3 in his class. He's an all-around great person, and I'm so happy that he could join us today out of his anatomy class to talk to you for a few minutes about his journey in Miles Ahead. His name is Max Ruiz. I like affectionately call him Mad Max.
Hello. Hello. My name is, what is it called? Max Ruiz. You heard it from my boy right here, my great mentor of the MOS. But I just want to talk to you about my experience as a MOS scholar since, the 9th grade. So I'll tell you first that, I was originally at MLCPA, that's both middle school and high school. I thought I was going to stay there for, the entirety of my school life. But then MOS recruited me, right? Once I graduated middle school, it's that summer, and they come to my house and they recruit me. And they're like, we want you for MOS, we want you for Miles Ahead Scholars. I'm like, me and my parents looked over everything. We're like, you know what? We believe in this program. And I'm so happy that we did. Because when I got in, man, it's been great. It's been a great time, So I just want to go, college advising, all right? This first thing. College advising has been super smooth, super easy, and that's all thanks to my school, my counselor, my MOS counselor, who counsels all the MOS students in Wheatley. Her name is Ashtani Cutler, Mrs. Cutler. She's just so awesome. She's great. She does so much stuff for me. She, when I mess up, she's still, she's not gonna hate me. It's awesome, She's a great person. We helped build a resume together for one of my scholarships, the Gates Scholarship. It came out looking great. She gave me the real talk, because it's hard. I think I started to understand this. My family's like, oh, you can go to any college you want to, and it's like that's great, but I want to know like for real what's my like capabilities, because I just want to keep myself humble like that. And she gave me the real talk. She was like, okay, here's where you're probably not going to get into. Here's what you're definitely going to get into. And from there, we built, my college lists. It was just amazing, we've been building from college, of course, since the 9th grade. And man, she's just been there for me. She's been just great, just amazing. I'm so happy to have her as my counselor. And you know what's even the greatest thing is our open communication. When we were building my personal essay, I would write it, I would send it to her. She'd give revisions, send it back. I would say, hey, whether I like this or not, and then I'd make a new draft. And it was like that. And man, it was a great effort. It was just fast. It was like smooth. That's the one thing. It was smooth, and it's hard to, when you're like communicating out of school, but man, she made the time for me, and I'm so happy that she did. And it's on that note, she does send me scholarships, because it's hard to look through some of those scholarship lists, because a lot of them will be like, oh, I'm not eligible for that, or oh, that deadline's already been passed. But man, when she sends me a scholarship, I know this one is one that I can get into. Moving on, because we also have academic, counseling, academic advising. She's encouraging me in, to go AP in as many classes as I can, and I'll tell you, I love it. All right, it's not necessarily. I mean, I'm kind of separated from the population just because, we're in AP classes. It's kind of a sad thing, but few people choose AP. But the people in the AP classes, man, they're smart, and man, we care about really the same things. We study a lot together. It's amazing. But man, it's just like I tell you right now, I'm in I'm in 3 AP classes right now, but I think actually 4. But for the whole semester, I'll be taking like 5, because one semester or whatever. But just a lot of AP classes. I have it loaded up on my plate, And Miss Motlin encouraged me to start AP Statistics, which was a difficult subject because it's online, and I would have to buy my own textbook. And although that didn't pan out necessarily for 11th grade, I am doing it this year, because she encouraged me again. She's like, come on now, you got to do it. So, I'm doing it now. And, it's been great. It's been a great time. And of course, we meet about grades. And man, if she even sees this tiniest difference, a 0.1 difference in my grade, she's going to tell me, go to your teacher. You got to go talk to him, see what you can do. My grades have been pristine. I'm talking about pristine, clean, all right? And I want to get to MOS exposures, because I feel like I've taken a lot of advantage of this particular part of MOS in a good way. Like, they give me the opportunity, and I'm like, yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do all these different applications. And man, I'll tell you, I visited Rice, Washington University in St. Louis, Tulane. Man, I'm trying to think of like University of Colorado. I've been to the National Hispanic Institute. If any of y'all know that, that's at University of Colorado. That was a great time. I went to the events. I'm trying to remember the name. I don't want to get off topic, but whatever. Yeah. But they've provided me with such great opportunities, right? That's with like MOS and Discover Youth together. They would help support me and collaborate me on stuff that Discovery didn't even have on their site. I find something, they're like, oh yeah, we can set that up for you. And man, it's just been a great help. And I also do want to talk about another exposure thing. You saw that video earlier. It was, be engaged, be open-minded. All of that clips were from the most recent Forging Week, which is one of MOS's biggest events. Everybody goes there. We're talking about the 12th, it's in the summer, so it's the soon-to-be 12th graders, soon-to-be 11th, soon-to-be 10th, and the upcoming, freshmen. And it's amazing, we were at UHD, University of Houston downtown. That was an awesome campus. In previous years, we've been at Texas Southern, right? Yes, Texas Southern. That was awesome too. And our minds get refreshed academically for the upcoming school year. We get to learn about the colleges we're in. We this year we talked to actual like college admittance officers. And we picked their brain, all of us Moss scholars. Of course, we built community together because we're all together. We're we're having a great time. We're talking during lunch, and especially with the 100 Black men of Houston, we met up with them for a whole day dedicated to them, basically, this forging week. And I got a mentor out of it, Mr. Daniel Bertrand. He works at Microsoft, and I would call him a big wig, if for lack of any other words. He does some crazy stuff. He flies out to Redmond, Washington, Microsoft headquarters every week. I'm telling you, he's a real deal. And man, he's been so generous. I've been to both of the Microsoft offices in Houston. You don't get that anywhere else, man. I don't even know how I would have met these people if I wasn't in Moss. So I think that really speaks for itself. Yeah.
Awesome. I didn't pay him to say any of that. Just want to get on the record. He came back with that information. So he highlighted one of our partners. I'm gonna bring my screen up again. Discover U, he mentioned, and Discover U is actually up next. So Ashley and George, I thank you guys so much for partnering with Miles Ahead and the work that you guys been able to provide. If you guys want to jump in, and I'll pull your screen up here in a second.
Sure. Thank you, Exley, and thank you, Max, and thank you everyone associated with the Moss. Discover U is very proud to be a partner of this initiative. Good morning, everyone. My name is George Vanderveer. I am CEO of Discover U, a Houston 501c3 nonprofit, and I'm joined with my Chief Operating Officer, Ashley Willett, who will talk here in a little bit. But firstly, I just wanted to talk a little, just introduce Discover U. Again, we are a nonprofit in Houston, and if you take anything away from this presentation, remember, experience matters. So Discover U was founded by educators to try to bridge the equity gaps that we see in our underserved communities in regards to experiential education. So think of those out-of-school learning experiences. They could be STEM camp at a major university, some industry camp at Wall Street, some outdoor leadership experience, anything that's college or career preparatory. Discover U works with schools, school districts, and specialty programs like Miles Ahead to help work with students and families to bridge those gaps, whether they be logistic, financial, or anything in between. So we are very proud that we're able to connect hundreds of students like Max every year to almost any kind of experiential or college preparatory program that is available in the country. We partner with over 140 different programs, and we work in tandem with them to help connect them to that opportunity. Because
Hey,
we know.
I'm sorry, George. We had there's a gray bar on your screen. And Tisha helped us out in the chat, and she said that if you unselect the optimized video, it should take away those green bars for you. So if you unshare and then uncheck the box that says optimized for video, that should take care of those gray bars for us.
Okay, I think that's probably your purview, Exley, in terms of that. But yeah, in terms of we do this work because we know that accessing these opportunities not only help students academically, help them become more competitive college applicants, but there's a host of social emotional growth that happens when you attend these programs. I'm sure everyone listening to my voice has had an opportunity outside the classroom that puts you on the path you are on today. So that is what Discover U tries to recreate. We try to give those students the ability to build social emotional growth, healthy risk-taking, and build their grit and persistence through these opportunities. And with that being said, I'm going to pass the torch to my colleague, Ashley Willett.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ashley Willett, and I am the COO here at Discover U. I was actually also a teacher at Lee Now Wisdom High School back in the day in 2007 when Discover U was founded, because we realized that our kiddos lacked sort of the social emotional skills. We now call them soft skills, or ability to navigate a system, find a support person, be on a college campus and feel comfortable there. And so what we do is that we're effectively like an opportunity broker that reduces the barriers that keeps students, young people, from accessing high quality programs that put them on the path to success in a post-secondary setting, right? And so we work in schools and we work with students directly to help them find programs that are aligned with their goals, apply and become successful, and then to reduce the barriers that keep them from actually participating. And that can look like money, obviously, but it also can look like travel. It can look like we've been on the phone with kiddos as we walk through the airport, look for B42 because they've never flown before, and knowing what a terminal is and how all this works is scary, right? But we want to encourage kids to take healthy risks. So if we look at the next slide, we can see some examples of our Miles Ahead scholars who have participated in some of these programs. So Mario here, he attended the Temple Pre-College Workshop. So that's at Temple University. This was his first time ever to go somewhere by himself, right? What we hear so often from our young people is that it's not necessarily about the content that they learn. Like, he had an amazing time in his web design and public health policy courses, college level courses, but really we hear, like what he says here, it allowed me to meet new people and be more open-minded. It allowed me to get out of my comfort zone, go to a new location for my first time, right? And here's Tyron. So this kiddo, Tyron did like 5 different programs, y'all, including a trip to Japan, a 4-week stay in Tokyo. But one of his first programs was at the St. Louis University Aviation Camp, where he actually got to go up in a plane, right? And learn all about the different kinds of aviation careers that are out there while living in the dorms, eating in the cafeteria, having that sort of college experience. And again, here's a great example of how the things that the kiddos, our young people, take away are not just the content, right? It's important to stay open-minded, to try new things, to get out of your comfort zone. And these are the kinds of skills that we want to develop in our young people so that they are empowered and capable, right, as they're moving on to their post-secondary plans. So we are so grateful to partner with Miles Ahead. We really appreciate how they prioritize the student experience, and we can't wait to continue the work.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley and George, for being here today and for highlighting our program. Our students, taking our students across the world, not just across the state, across the world. And I look forward to more exposure opportunities with you guys. So thank you for being here today. My last part I want to bring up is Mr. Chaz Bailey, who is the director of My Brother's Keeper, who is supporting our newest partner, supporting us with post-secondary support for our scholars with internships and for support as they travel to their universities. Mr. Bailey?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Exley. Chaz Bailey of My Brother's Keeper Houston. And as he said, we are in the city of Houston, and we're aiming to eliminate those opportunity gaps for boys and young men of color. And we want to open up opportunities beyond their wildest dreams. And so hearing and seeing the videos today, why not partner with Miles Ahead? And that's why we're here today, because the 6 levels you see on your screen are our milestones. And we want to focus usually on that post-secondary success, because we always think about how can we get these children to college? How can we get them the SAT scores they need? How can we get their experience? But maybe some of you all experienced it just like I did. Once you reach college, you get those words, you're on your own now. And what tends to happen is you can be really successful or you can fall through the wayside. So what we are working with Miles Ahead to do is to have what we call our college support program. And what that is, no matter what university you attend in this world, we have virtual sessions where we can bring partners who partner with MBK, who are in the corporate world, nonprofit sector, or just some community leaders, to have sessions with them to help encourage them, mentor, and provide strategic strategies that basically take their lives from one place to another. one of the big things that I laid my hat on with this is because whether we realize it or not, one day we all will get old, and these young men will be our leaders in some type of way. And so, why not pour into them? And so, this is why this college support program is so perfect. But it doesn't stop there. We need to make sure that these young men successfully enter the workforce. So, my job is really to partner with organizations, companies, to bring them to the table and let them know that we have young men that will change their workforce, will change their communities for the better, and partner to bridge those gaps and bring those young men in and have conversations, have networking opportunities. And that just opens up the world of opportunities to these young men, from the school book to the workbook. So we try to strive to be in sync with what Dr. Warren is doing, with what Discover U is doing, everything. So number one thing we want to do is really bridge the gap, bring these networking opportunities, and bring true mentorship that is truly a collective impact. So my organizations and all the other organizations that may be in your mind, that is what we're here for, to create collective impact and change the numbers. So when we first talked and became partners, we overlapped in our goals, and we knew that what MAS was doing was the future. And when Dr. Warren talked about being at underserved schools, even though someone like Max is separate from his student body, they see it and they notice it. And just like when we were young, we wanted to be someone that we revered, and these students are revered on their campus. I've seen it firsthand, and that creates a positive domino effect. How can I be a MAS scholar? And when you hear words like that, now, granted, we're in Texas and we love our sports, we love things of that nature, but you start hearing academics in that same space, that changes the world. And so what they're doing at MAS is not only just for those students, it's for the students that are not even in the program. They want to attend these same universities, they want to achieve well. And so I think it's monumental that they're going to the 8th graders and really creating that pipeline to success. And MBK Houston is here for the whole way, because like I said, we overlap, and hopefully any partnerships that you can think of that you can send Dr. Exley's way, I would definitely stand behind it and give them all the credentials in the world, because they're making the changes that we need to see in our communities.
Mr. Bailey, thank you so much for those comments. And I apologize, I got a message about the optimization piece, and my tech person stepped out, so hopefully it's not too much of a distraction here.
Hey, Dr. Exley, I apologize for this, but we have one more presenter after you all, so I just want to make sure we get them in. So if you could wrap up in the next minute or so, that'll be super helpful.
Yes, sir. I'll do that. Thank you so much for that promise. So this is class 24. They have over $1 million in scholarships. So as you think about next step in supporting MAS, our young people are doing the work. So over 50 college acceptances in the state of Texas and outside of the state of Texas. So we're super proud of our seniors this year. You know, overall impact, 100% of our students are accepted into four-year universities. 33% have full rides. We have Terry, Dale, and Posse scholars in our program. And year to date, our scholars, we've had 2 graduating classes, and they have accumulated over $2 million in scholarship. Follow us on social media. Please want to hear from you. How can we continue to build our program? And more importantly, how can we support the work of our young men to transform their lives? And I appreciate Senator Miles again for his vision and tenacity for working with the TEA and securing that $22 million grant so we can transform these young men's lives. Thank you again, Ashton and Ms. Seller, for having us.
Of course. Thank you, Dr. Exley and the MAS family over there. And also just to kind of like make another connection, right? This program is a great example of some of our concepts from school mental health not operating in a silo, right? So the MAS program has done a phenomenal job, right, when it comes to building relationships, teaching those personal competencies and skills, that positive youth development, and making sure all of that is wrapping around our students to make sure they're successful, both like while they're in our K through 12 system and in that post-secondary education component as well. So again, thank you to the MAS program for really showcasing how this could be done across the state. And I also saw in the chat that a lot of folks are excited about your program, and y'all might be influencing some folks in the Panhandle or down there in Galveston even. So thank you again to you all. So now to round out our presentations, and I'll say we do have to adjust our agenda a little bit. We had planned to do a panel discussion, but the content has been so rich, and I don't want to shortchange anybody. So if you have any questions in the audience, just put them in a Q&A function, and we'll make sure that either in a follow-up or some other way, we will get those questions answered as well. But to round out our presenters, we will now hear from school staff at one of our Project Aware partner, LEA, San Marcos CISD. So our partners here have excelled at establishing community partnerships to support students throughout the district, and even more specifically at their pre-K campus, which will be highlighted today, where serving both the student and their families is really one of the piece of the essence that makes their campus so successful. So without further ado, I will hand it over to Team San Marcos, and while Jarlene is spotlighting you all, I will make sure I get your PowerPoint slide deck up as well.
All right.
All right, you should be good to go.
Okay, it says I'm still mute. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm so excited about MAS, preparing our little pre-Ks to go into a program like MAS. Isn't that great? My name is Diana Escamilla. I'm the mental health and behavioral specialist. I'm a licensed clinician that was hired through Project Aware. And I want to kind of start. I'm really excited to introduce our staff members and our community partnerships. And then at the end, I will wrap it together because I'm afraid to run out of time. But if Ashton, I don't know if we could go to our first. Great. This is Bonham. This is for our little pre-Kers Go. And so Bonham came into play almost 9 years ago. And so it was built to house 400 students. We've got 432. And Dr. Martinez can say, man, we're continually growing. And so these are we bring all our pre-Kers into one school. And so if we could go to the next one, Ashton, thank you so much. This is just a little bit of what we do. And so Irma de los Santos is our school counselor. She's been here from the very beginning. Our lovely Ms. de los Santos. I think everybody knows her in San Marcos because she does such a good job with our little ones. I'm gonna go ahead and start playing a little bit of her video, and she will tell you what she does here at Pre-K.
Hello, my name is Irma de los Santos, and I have been the school counselor at Bonham for 9 years already. And it is with great honor that I promote our vision, which is to play, to learn, and to grow. My whole purpose here at Bonham has been to promote our vision and include our social emotional learning. And that's exactly what I've been doing. I have been able to plan purposeful activities that promote social emotional learning, and I make it fun for them. I use the zones of regulation so that we can identify our feelings, and we can also identify ways to cope with each feeling. Now, there's also gonna be some students that need additional support. Those students see me weekly. If they are receiving that intervention from me, they see me weekly, and we do social stories, we do games, we do activities that promote social emotional learning. And in addition, I also use our TSHAT program. Our TCHAT program is a Texas Child Health Access through telemedicine, and it is a free program that is provided through the Dell Medical School. And what they do assessments of our children's mental health if that's something that they need. They also recommend strategies to support the child at home and at school, and they connect the family with mental health providers in our community. So TCHAT has really been a very, very helpful resource that I have used for our students that need that additional support. Like I said, I am Irma de los Santos. I'm the school counselor here at Bonham, and those are some of the services that I provide at Bonham Pre-K School. Thank you. Hello, my name is Irma de los Santos.
So our next staff member is our parent liaison, who's really important, Cynthia Hernandez. And so this is just some of the things that she does, but she'll explain it on the video, if we can go to the video clip.
Hello, I'm Cynthia Hernandez, the Bonham Parent Liaison. This is my 7th year serving the SMCISD and Bonham community. My mission as Parent Liaison is to bridge the gap between home, community, and school by promoting collaboration, empowering families, and providing a safe and nurturing environment for all. I truly believe in the power of community, which is why I create and host monthly parent and family engagements. Each engagement is purposeful and creates a space and opportunity for families to connect, share, play, and grow together. I also host monthly parent trainings that empower our families with knowledge, skills, and tools to help support their students' learning at home. In 2018, I started the Rattler Pantry that is housed here at Bonham. This resource is made possible through a generous partnership with our Hays County Food Bank. Each week, SMCISD families have the opportunity to pick up a box of food that contains fruits, vegetables, meats, bread, and other non-perishable food items. The Rattler Pantry has become a lifeline for a lot of our families who are experiencing food insecurities, and I truly believe that no family should have the burden of wondering where their next meal will come from. In addition to food assistance, I also provide essential items like clothing, jackets, and shoes, along with toiletries that are made possible through generous donations from our community partners and organizations. I understand that some families may face challenges that go beyond the school walls, which is why I offer support by conducting home visits and wellness checks. I also help connect them to counseling services and other organizations that provide resources within our community. Here at Bonham, our mission is to provide planned and purposeful, engaging opportunities and experiences to help foster the foundation of social and emotional development and academic learning for everyone. Hello, I'm Cynthia.
Hi, so our next presenter is Jessica Villarreal. She works with Fueling Brains. Fueling Brains is a real important part of our what we do here at Bonham. And I'll let her explain what she does here.
Hi, my name is Jessica Villarreal. I am an instructional coach here at beautiful Bonham Pre-K and work for a company called Fueling Brains. Fueling Brains is an early learning brain development company that focuses on building the children's executive functions. This results in children who grow up to be flexible thinkers, who make conscious decisions, manage their impulses, regulate their emotions, and quickly adapt to change. We are teaching the children how to learn before we teach them what to learn. We focus on each class as a whole, as well as individual students here at Bonham. Fueling Brains also provides teachers with trainings to keep them up to speed with the understanding of executive functions and brain development. Coming very soon will be the Fueling Brains Parent Portal. This will provide parents access to their children's Fueling Brains profiles. There is some great information on the portal, and we will be conducting a training on using the portal in the near future. Please be on the lookout for that. Thank you. Hi.
Our next partnership is Communities in Schools. And so they also have a little video clip that we can go through. Thank you, Ashton.
At Communities and Schools of Central Texas, our mission is to surround students with a community of support, empowering them to stay in school and achieve in life. We know that when students are hungry, tired, or preoccupied with worry, they cannot focus on learning. For students dealing with bullying, the effects of trauma, poverty, and other challenges, sometimes just showing up for class can be overwhelming. This is where Communities in Schools of Central Texas comes in to complement the good work teachers and administrators are already doing. Communities in Schools is a partner of the school with an office on campus. CIS connects students to caring adults and local resources to remove barriers so that all students can reach their full potential. We start by placing highly trained and qualified professionals to work full-time directly in elementary, middle, and high school campuses. They meet with teachers, counselors, and parents to identify students with the greatest obstacles. Then they create a plan tailored to each student's specific needs. Supports include one-on-one and peer group time focusing on things like regulating emotions, anger management, self-esteem, goal setting, academics, and making positive choices. During times of crisis, Communities in Schools continues to provide critical supports to students and their families, even when the campus is closed. CIS is all in for kids in school and beyond. Communities in Schools provides basic needs essentials to students, including school supplies, bus passes, hygiene items, clothing, and snack packs. When students have their basic needs met, they are ready to learn. CIS expands horizons, offering after-school activities, service learning projects, university and college tours, meeting with mentors, tutors, and reading buddies, and hearing from guest speakers. The CIS model is evidence-based, adapted to meet each community's unique needs, and proven successful in improving academics, attendance, and behavior. CIS supports a positive climate and culture on campus. We help with conflict resolution, provide trauma training, and share strategies for supporting positive student behavior. A national survey found that the majority of teachers surveyed believe that having Communities in Schools on campus improves their effectiveness by helping students be more engaged, more committed to learning, and better prepared for class. Our commitment to success for all students brings communities together. Thank you for being part of that community of support. Learn more at ciscentraltexas.org.
And we also have our Head Start program that's housed here. And so we can go into the video clip. I'm a little concerned with time, Ashton.
Hi, I am Patricia Vargas. I am the Mental Health and Disabilities Coordinator for Community Action, Inc. of Central Texas Head Start program. We partner here at Bonham Pre-K. We've done this for many years, and we currently have 60 children enrolled, and they are duly enrolled both with Bonham Pre-K and Head Start. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our Head Start program. Head Start knows that children love and learn as they play, and we work hard to help them develop socially, emotionally, physically, and academically. Head Start is a safe and caring place for children to learn and grow. We emphasize to our parents that they are their child's first and most important teacher, and we want to partner with them and their child as they learn to grow with us. Head Start gives families a chance to grow by providing many support services. The more time that they spend partnering with us, the more they will be able to help their child learn and grow and be kindergarten ready. Head Start parents and families have gained many skills. They have obtained jobs, they further their education. Head Start offers tools that can help them reach these goals for their family and for their children. Here's Miss Ledesma. She is here at Bonham Pre-K. Can you tell me what that looks like?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Vargas. My name is Michelle Ledesma, and I'm a family advocate here at Bonham. At enrollment, we meet with families and we discuss assessments and screeners and our family visits. During these family visits, we complete family assessments and we create family goals. So our family The goal for a family assessment is to identify family strengths, because we all have them. Sometimes we need gentle reminders. And then also the goal is to identify any areas where families may need a little bit more support in. We identify those areas to connect them to community resources or referrals. We follow up with families to ensure that they are making that connection. Our goals, we then create our family goals, and these goals can stem from something from our family assessment, but they don't need to. The family goal is really something that the family wants to learn more about, is working towards, or something that they're really enthusiastic about. We create steps to get to that measurable goal. We also work really well with our community partners regarding those resources. And we are truly, truly very lucky to have a lot of those community resources right here at Bonham, with communities and schools, and of course our wonderful AWARE program. We also meet with families to ensure that families have a medical home. We work with families to make sure that their children, our students, are up to date on medical and dental as well. We also have a program floater where she does go in to each of her classrooms just to provide extra support as well.
Oh, wow, that's wonderful. Also, we wanted to talk about how it's all comprehensive, and that, you know, these partnerships, you know, we work together. And so it's just neat to see all of these here at Bonham Pre-K.
It truly takes a village. Thanks.
Hey, Deanna, if it's all right with you, I am going to skip to the last kind of slide. We will post this presentation on our website. So I know we have one more video, but for the sake of time, if that's all right with you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
All right. So sorry about that, but I do kind of want to bring us together one more time. A big example I kind of pulled out from looking at our Bonham friends, right, and our friends in San Marcos CISD, is that you all have really done a great job in terms of being able to utilize the pre-K and school to bridge the gap, right, between what students and families need and having a place, right, for them to actually be served through those community partnerships. So a big kudos to you all for everything that you're doing. And I know I kind of cut us off on that presentation, but I do want to hear from you, Ms. De Los Santos, especially because of all of the great work that you're doing. When we got a chance to chat during our visit at San Marcos CISD, we saw all of the great work. So if you want to just wrap up for San Marcos right now, and just let us know a little bit about, in your own words, what is the type of impact that you've seen all of these community partnerships have on students, families, and the school community overall?
The biggest impact is that we always find a solution to everything, every barrier. And we are a Title I school, so we are going to have barriers with a lot of our students. So we always work through those barriers. We always find a solution. I know a lot of the TCHAT counselors, the one encounter that they have is that, well, there's no space, there's no time, there's no technology. So one of the things that you all saw how many services we have here at Bonham and how many partnerships we have, and we use every single one of them, and we work together just so that we can have those services available at all times. So if it requires me to stay with the parent in my office, I'll make that arrangements. If the parents are working, I make myself available whenever the parents need me to. I am very flexible. I just need to ensure that our services are delivered, and I make the appropriate modifications to connect and make it happen for them. So we work together, and that's really what Bonham is about. There's no barrier that cannot be accomplished because we do have so many partnerships. And with that, TCHAT has been very successful because I make myself available. I sit with the students on the other side of the monitor. We make that happen. If the parents don't have a phone, hey, use mine. So just be available and flexible and deliver the support and the services that they need. So we work together and we make it happen.
I love that attitude. That is what I call a can-do attitude. One of the things Ms. De Los Santos mentioned, right, is if we have a need or if we have a problem, we might not be able to solve it just with our capacity at the campus, but we have a community partner that has a resource and has a solution, right? So no barrier or no hurdle is like insurmountable. Like we can overcome it, we can get over it as long as we rely on each other. I think I heard one of our folks in your video just now as well said, it takes a village. And I think whether it's what's happening in the great things happening in San Marcos CISD or in HISD with the MAS program, or even in the El Paso region in the 3 districts that we highlighted today with utilizing our resources at the local mental health authority to train up our staff, right? There are resources out there to support school mental health and community partnerships, right? It's kind of like the essence of where a lot of that comes from. So I want to say kudos and thank you all to everybody that presented today for taking the time out. We have folks from all across the state on our call today. So everything that you shared today is going to influence supporting over the 5.5 million kids that we have across the state of Texas. So again, much love and appreciation to you all for presenting. And so now I'll hand it over to my colleague, Jerlene, to just wrap us up with our final kind of like housekeeping pieces and share some of our post-survey and any kind of wrap-up details for us.
Thank you, Astrum. Wow, this session was remarkable and offered a lot of abundance of valuable content and information, so I really enjoyed it. As a reminder, the recording and accompanying resources from the session will be posted on our school mental health website, and I will make sure I drop that in the chat for you guys. All right. For those who have attended the whole session, CPE certificates will be emailed to the email address you registered by the end of the week. Thank you all for participating in this mental health and behavioral health webinar session. Our funder requests that we measure the impact in learning of this training activity. Your response to this brief 3-minute post-training survey will be anonymous, and your current survey will be linked with earlier or later surveys through a code that only you know. You can access the survey using the QR code on this slide or by clicking on the link in the chat. And I can provide that for you as well. Right, so that post survey should be in the chat, or you can also use the QR code. All right. Make sure you enter community partnerships in the box that asks for the name of the training as well. I'll put that information in the chat as well. Thank you all so much for joining the webinar today, and thank you again to our presenters. If you all are still here as the webinar concludes, your CPE will be emailed to you shortly. You can subscribe to the TEA Mental and Behavioral Health newsletter by using the link in the chat and selecting the Mental and Behavioral Health tab. You can also select the TEA topics that interest you. We will continue to provide you with information and future dates of webinar sessions in the newsletter. And I am going to put those links in the chat right now. Thank you so much.
All righty. I think that concludes our webinar session for today. So appreciate you all. I will hang on for a few more minutes in case anybody needs to complete the post survey. But all of our panelists, you all are free to go. I'm actually going to stop our recording now as